Okay, so you know we're all about diving deep into the latest health and nutrition research, and there's this one hormone that's been making a lot of headlines.
Yeah, it's been pretty hard to miss.
Exactly, and it's called glucagon-like peptide-1, or GLP-1 for short.
GLP-1, it's a gut hormone that's really starting to grab attention in the scientific community
Mhm.
and, among folks who are interested in, just optimizing their metabolic health.
For sure, and today we're going beyond just like the basics of what GLP-1 is. We really want to unpack how it works, and more importantly, how you can naturally enhance its function in your body.
Right, because GLP-1 is showing some pretty impressive potential when it comes to things like managing appetite and blood sugar, especially in the context of weight, which,
Yeah.
is a concern for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So think of this as your deep dive into the world of GLP-1 and how you can work with your body's natural systems to kind of harness its power.
Yeah, so let's just start with the fundamentals here. What exactly is GLP-1? What does it do?
Okay, so GLP-1 is a type of hormone called an incretin, and it's produced by these specialized cells in your gut called L cells. They hang out in your small intestine.
And these L cells are like little sensors. They release GLP-1 when you eat.
Right, so it's directly tied to food intake.
Absolutely. And once GLP-1 is out there in your system,
Okay.
it gets busy with a whole bunch of important metabolic tasks.
Yeah, one of the things that GLP-1 does is it helps to lower blood sugar levels, and we all know how crucial that is.
Right. And it does this in a couple of really interesting ways. So first, GLP-1 actually stimulates your pancreas to release more insulin.
And insulin is like the key that unlocks your cells to let glucose in from your bloodstream.
Exactly. So more insulin means your cells can take up glucose more efficiently, and that helps lower those blood sugar levels.
Okay, so that's one way GLP-1 works on blood sugar, but there's another angle too, right?
Yeah, so this is actually super important, especially for people dealing with
Mhm.
diabetes. GLP-1 also suppresses the release of another hormone called glucagon.
Now, glucagon is kind of like insulin's opposite. It raises blood sugar levels.
Right? It signals to your liver to release stored glucose into your bloodstream.
And in many cases of diabetes, there's often too much glucagon floating around, which, contributes to those high blood sugar levels.
Precisely so. By putting the brakes on glucagon, GLP-1 helps to keep blood sugar from spiking too high.
It's all about maintaining that balance.
Exactly. And GLP-1's role in blood sugar regulation is, it's a big deal, but it doesn't stop there.
Oh, yeah, it has these other really cool effects too.
GLP-1 also plays a significant role in appetite control, and we all know how important that is, in today's world.
Right. Like, how does it actually make you feel less hungry?
Okay, so one of the things it does is it slows down gastric emptying, which is basically how quickly food moves from your stomach into your intestines.
So you stay fuller for longer.
Exactly. You feel satisfied for a longer period of time, which naturally leads you to eat less overall.
Makes sense. It's like built-in portion control.
And on top of that, GLP-1 also goes straight to your brain and interacts with these specific areas in the hypothalamus, which is like the control center for hunger and satiety.
So it's sending those I'm full signals directly to the source.
Right. And it's worth mentioning that GLP-1 also seems to have some anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh, really? So it's not just about metabolism.
It looks like it might play a broader role in overall health, and we know that chronic inflammation can be a factor in a lot of different health issues.
So it sounds like GLP-1 is kind of like this multi-talented hormone with a pretty wide range of benefits.
Exactly. And it's especially relevant for anyone concerned about weight management or blood sugar control.
Okay, so now for the million-dollar question. If GLP-1 is so great, how can we get more of it? Or at least, how can we help our bodies use it more effectively?
That's the question we're going to tackle, and we're going to focus on natural ways to boost your GLP-1 because there's growing evidence that certain lifestyle and dietary choices can actually enhance your body's own GLP-1 activity.
And this is really important because while there are GLP-1 medications out there like semaglutide, these can have some potential downsides too.
Right, things like nausea and vomiting, which some people experience, and there's also the concern about losing muscle mass along with the fat, which isn't ideal.
And, there's the fact that you have to keep taking these medications to maintain the weight loss.
Exactly. So focusing on natural ways to boost GLP-1 could offer a more sustainable and potentially safer approach.
All right, so let's get into the specifics. What are some of these natural GLP-1 boosters?
Well, one that's really interesting and one that my lab at BYU has been studying is yerba mate.
Yerba mate, that's that South American drink, kind of like tea, right?
Yeah, it's an herbal infusion that's been consumed for centuries in countries like Argentina and Uruguay.
Okay, so what's the connection to GLP-1?
Our research has shown that yerba mate can significantly increase GLP-1 levels, and this might be due to several compounds found in it, including something called ferulic acid.
Ferulic acid, interesting. So how does that work?
Well, it seems like ferulic acid itself has a modest effect, but when it's broken down by the bacteria in your gut, it forms a metabolite called dihydroferulic acid, and that's where the magic really happens.
So it's the gut bacteria that are really boosting the GLP-1.
That's what our research suggests. And the cool thing is that dihydroferulic acid was much more potent than ferulic acid alone in stimulating GLP-1 release from those L cells in the gut.
So yerba mate kind of works on multiple levels. It provides the ferulic acid, and then your gut bacteria transform it into this supercharged GLP-1 booster.
Exactly. And, another interesting thing about yerba mate is that it has a slightly bitter taste, and that bitterness actually plays a role too.
Wait, what? How does bitter taste affect GLP-1?
You actually have taste receptors for bitterness, not just on your tongue, but also throughout your digestive tract. And when these receptors are activated, it can trigger the release of GLP-1.
Wow, so it's like a double whammy. You get the GLP-1 boost from the ferulic acid and then another boost from the bitter taste itself.
Exactly. And those bitter compounds can also help reduce cravings for sweet foods. So that's an added bonus.
Okay, so yerba mate definitely sounds like a winner for boosting GLP-1. What else have you found in your research?
Another interesting one is allulose.
Allulose. I've heard that name, but I'm not totally sure what it is.
It's a type of sugar, a rare sugar, that's naturally found in small amounts in some fruits.
But isn't all sugar bad for you?
Well, allulose is different. It doesn't get metabolized like regular sugar, so it doesn't raise your blood glucose or insulin levels.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's sweet, but without the blood sugar spike.
And what's really cool is that our research has shown that allulose can also stimulate GLP-1 release.
So you get the potential benefits of GLP-1 without the negative effects of regular sugar.
And there's even some early research suggesting that allulose might be helpful for managing type 1 diabetes.
Really? How so?
Well, in type 1 diabetes, there's not enough insulin production. And there's also often an issue with excessive glucagon, remember the hormone that raises blood sugar. And allulose seems to be a pretty robust regulator of both glucagon and blood glucose.
So it could potentially help people with type 1 diabetes better manage their blood sugar levels.
Yeah, and this is still early research, but it's definitely an area worth exploring.
Okay, so we've talked about yerba mate and allulose. Are there any other specific foods or compounds that can boost GLP-1?
Well, it's not just about individual foods. It's also about overall dietary patterns.
Okay, so like what we eat in general.
Exactly. And there's a lot of evidence suggesting that low carbohydrate diets can be very effective for increasing GLP-1 levels.
Low carb. Interesting. So how does that work?
Well, when you reduce your carb intake, your body starts to rely more on fat for fuel, and this metabolic shift seems to enhance GLP-1 production.
So it's not just about cutting carbs, it's about changing the way your body uses energy.
Right, and this can have a ripple effect on things like appetite control, blood sugar regulation,
Right.
and even inflammation.
And I've heard that protein can also play a role in GLP-1.
Yeah, that's right. Protein is another powerful GLP-1 stimulator.
So a diet that's higher in protein and lower in carbs could really give your GLP-1 a boost.
Exactly, and it's not just about what you eat, it's also about when you eat.
Timing matters too.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that eating your biggest meal earlier in the day can lead to higher GLP-1 levels.
So front-loading your calories might be a good strategy.
Exactly. And speaking of lifestyle factors, let's not forget about sleep.
Oh yeah, sleep is so important for everything.
And it turns out that good sleep can also benefit your GLP-1 levels.
Really? How so?
Well, when you're sleep deprived, your body produces more of the stress hormone, cortisol. And cortisol can actually suppress GLP-1 secretion.
So not getting enough sleep could be sabotaging your GLP-1.
It's definitely something to consider. And on the flip side, getting enough restful sleep can help support healthy GLP-1 production.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Are there any other natural ways to boost GLP-1 that we haven't touched on?
Exercise is another important factor. Regular physical activity can increase GLP-1 levels.
Oh, that's good to know because exercise is already beneficial for so many reasons.
Exactly. And there's also some evidence that managing stress can help support healthy GLP-1 function.
Makes sense. Stress is kind of the opposite of sleep when it comes to hormones.
Yeah, chronic stress can throw off your hormonal balance, and that can impact GLP-1.
So it's all about finding those healthy lifestyle habits that work for you.
Absolutely. And, it's important to remember that everyone is different. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right. So it's really about experimenting and finding what helps you feel your best.
Exactly. And, If you're considering trying any of these natural GLP-1 boosters, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian.
Especially if you have any underlying health conditions or you're taking medications.
Right, because there can be interactions, and it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Okay, so to kind of sum it all up, GLP-1 is this incredible hormone with a wide range of benefits for our metabolic health.
Yeah, it helps regulate blood sugar, control appetite, reduce inflammation, and more.
And while there are medications that can mimic the effects of GLP-1, there are also a lot of natural ways to support your body's own production of this hormone.
And these natural strategies involve things like incorporating specific foods and compounds into your diet, adopting a lower carbohydrate dietary pattern, prioritizing good sleep, managing stress, and getting regular exercise.
And the really cool thing is that these lifestyle changes not only benefit your GLP-1, but they also have a positive impact on your overall health and well-being.
Exactly. It's all about working with your body's natural systems to achieve optimal health.
And that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive.
Absolutely. So as always, thanks for joining us. And remember that knowledge is power when it comes to your health.
We hope this deep dive into GLP-1 has given you some actionable steps you can take to enhance your own metabolic health.
Because ultimately, it's about making informed choices that empower you to live your best life.
And on that note, we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of health and nutrition.